Greetings, community, and welcome to NCBD Comics and another edition of Kevin's most anticipated reads tomorrow for New Comic Book Day. That's 3/12/2025. And here we are once again, and it's great to be alive. I appreciate everyone that cruises on through, and without you, well, this wouldn't be half as fun or half as true. I'm just saying that I appreciate all that cruise on and by on the rewinds. I'm just pretty greatly appreciate you, and I hope that you enjoy this list that I'm about to bring to you. Let's start off cruising over at the Dynamite, and they're going to bring to us Space Ghost issue number 11. That is something that I've really been thoroughly enjoying as far as an ongoing series is concerned. It's not one that I think I can remove from my pull list anytime soon. Space Ghost has not only been thoroughly enjoyable, but it's one of those things that's pretty much solidified itself onto my on my monthly pull, in which that I just can't ever really see going away anytime soon. So I really been enjoying the story. It's been really hitting home. It takes me back of yesteryear, but it builds upon a story that has never been really truly told before. It's a good series. I highly recommend it for all ages. It's a good series in which that you can buy a trade and then jump on into. It's about to finish up its second volume by going into issue number 11 and then thus 12 obviously finishing it out. But I highly recommend jumping in this series if nothing else. Space Ghost in issue number 11 coming out tomorrow on that 3/12/2025. Moving up from Dynamite, let's talk about over that the Image Comics, and Image is going to bring us Geiger issue number 12. Here we have a full appearance of the Glowing Woman. She is also going to give great assistance to the Glowing Man, and Geiger is going to need all the help that he can get. Also, we end up seeing some assistance by, oh my God, the robot. I can see his face right now, but it's Joe. Junkyard Joe is now giving full assistance to our hero and to the Knight, and now we're getting to some understanding of how this woman, the Glowing Woman, plays a part in all this. Also, that's coming out at the same time as we're going to get a Geiger issue number 10, third printing that comes out on the same time. It is a black and white copy. I also have put away, but it is something, if you're a hardcore collector like myself, will be looking forward to and hoping to get. Moving out from Geiger issue number 12, let's talk about Red Coat issue number 10. That is probably one of the more highlighted books that come out from this Ghost Machine universe. The reason why is it much like the way Philadelphia touches on aspect of history and tying it into our present day and tying into the book as a major aspect to the storyline itself, thus giving also some feeling of this possibly could be real. Red Coat just ties in not only well-written material to a past that, it's just speculative on what exactly everything that transpired, but it ties into a great, how should I say, offshoot from this Ghost Machine universe. Red Coat is thoroughly one of my more favorite of the series that has been coming out, and that's another one of those that I can't see going away anytime soon. If I could take a moment to say hello to old Jag, appreciate you, brother. Callie, thanks for stopping on by. Appreciate you cruising on through. And Jigs, you the man. Hope all is well with you. And just going through the quick little list. And hey, like I said before, Geiger 12, Red Coat 10. Those are definitely must-haves in this Ghost Machine universe. Let's move out from that. Let's talk about Transformers, because they're going to give us two books revolving in their Energon universe, which is one, Transformers issue number 18. Here we have an expansion on what we've got from 17. Don't want to ruin some spoilers there, but we're getting more and more Transformers making not only their introduction, but we're getting bigger and bigger Transformers that are coming out also. The devastation is getting real, and it's also seeming like, wow, there's so much tension. There's so much at stake in these stories that at times it's difficult to even turn the page, because I'm dying to see what's going to happen, but I'm afraid someone's going to die when I see what happens. It's really that high tension, that high stress, and that high anxiety when you end up reading these books of the Energon universe. Both Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Void Rivals all really do really well on telling this, how should I say, massive and immersive storyline. But what it also does is it takes its own little niche, its own little fragment, and tells it so well that each book, especially in the case of Transformers, really highlights what they're trying to get across. And in the case of Transformers, I really hate some of the tragedy that really bestows some of the characters in here, because even though we only get to see them for so few moments sometimes in such few pages, they really, for my opinion, grab a lot of my heart in these storylines, and I start getting involved in some of these characters. So when they go away or when they really get majorly injured, it seems like some of my heart does too. Just saying. So again, Transformers issue number 8 coming out tomorrow on 3/12/2025. Moving off of Transformers, let's talk about Void Rivals issue number 17. Here we have a couple of first appearances, but also when it comes to, I don't want to ruin it, but Zeta, we're getting a lot more backstory and how the whole Void Rivals came out to be, and also the space station, the rings, all that. We're going to get a lot more understanding of how this actually transpired and how it relates to the bigger story and the bigger picture of why more Transformers has moved on, and why only a couple of what seeming like initially were scouts, seeming like now are protectors of these rings and what was going on in this area. Also, why we actually have the Void Rivals in of itself. Why is this happening between these two factions, beings that have been put into seemingly perpetual war, but just enough to keep battles away from them knowing each other's true identity and history? That's a lot of where we're going to get and the explanations of Void Rivals issue number 17. And if you're like me, getting deep into this third arc, it's starting to really make a lot of sense. How it not only affects what we've gotten in the initial introduction of a lot of these characters, but how it interrelates to both Transformers and G.I. Joe, respectively. Moving on from Void Rivals issue number 17, let's talk about what's the furthest place from here, issue number 22. I've been dying to talk to these two writers, and now that they're coming out with a new book coming out soon, which I don't necessarily want to talk about right now, I really been enjoying this series because of how it's been touching on how an individual will talk about post-apocalyptic worlds. This is one of those many, how should I say, iterations of how people view their own version of what they believe a post-apocalyptic world would be, and how the successive civilizations might possibly live on after. And what I really find interesting is that, I guess from a pure social and psychological point of view, is it does flash on aspects in which that I've always thought some civilizations would be shortly after something catastrophic would happen. Not only that, but the fact that certain things happen in so far off ways in which that I initially thought would be are also fascinating to me. And you might go, what the hell are you talking about? It's a story about a bunch of kids trying to find their way through a post-apocalyptic world, and then when they get to a certain age, they have to then venture out into the world and make it on their own. Well, what you end up finding is that everyone has their own laws, their own ways of navigating this post-apocalyptic world, and it doesn't work out for everyone, as you might have guessed. But for these characters in which we've been following around in particular, we're seeing so much of things that we've seen in past stories, but we're also seeing it told in so many different ways that, again, goes back to what I was saying before. I've grown attached to these characters and how they've been able to grow up in a world that they thought that they would be condemned for doing so. And everyone is looking at each other as if they're the problem when they're, in my opinion, the only solution. And when they find that out, I don't think they're going to realize that what they're trying to do is get to the furthest place from there. I think they almost done a full revolution, which is, I think, the kind of part of the story. I've really been enjoying it, like I said, not only from its social point of views and political and just how it's been told. And I guess, like I said before, is another reason why I want to talk to the writers. I really want to do a deep dive. I mean, it's overly fascinating for me. It's been consistent on its writing. It's been consistent on the art. And as far as those that I know that have been reading after the second arc, it's been consistent as far as the individual has been picking it up. And though, and of course, I'm a little biased. I don't know anybody that's been reading it so far that has yet to say anything negative about it at this point. What's the furthest place from here is just one of those books that I could never let go. Moving out from that image universe, and want to say a quick hello to Christina for hanging out and dance with me. And let's cruise over to the Marvel universe. Marvel's going to go ahead and bring to us and finish it out with, starting with Power Man Timeless issue number 2. I only got to flip through issue number 1. I got to talk extensively to Lansing and Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing about the book. We got to talk extensively over a year and a half, well, almost a year and a half ago at this point, about the idea behind this and the premise and how this was going to be, plus things that were supposed to come out from this and all the things that are going to be coming out in summer. Again, I know I'm being a little vague, but I am always sworn to so many secrecies. I can't remember when my timelines I can actually let things out. Back to the idea. Power Man is one of those books that I've been not only dying to read, especially issue number 1, because I've only got to flip through it and not quite read it, but issue number 2, because I know where it takes off. If I recall this as like a 5-issue miniseries that was long been wanting to be told by this duo group writers, and I've really been enjoying the art. If I recall, the art is, dang it, I thought I had it. I guess I don't. Bernard Chang, and I really dig his art as well. So Power Man Timeless is just one of those books that I not only am dying to read, but I've been enjoying the passion behind the project itself, even though I haven't yet to get to read the issue number 1. Just saying. So issue number 2 is definitely high on my list. Let's move it out for Power Man Timeless issue number 2 coming out and talk about Helverine issue number 4. What I've been digging about this is that Helverine is just a story about a kid that's just going through hell. Literally. It's the second time he's been brought back, and it looks like he's getting wiped out once again, and I feel pretty bad for this character, even though the character has been giving us a great story. Helverine issue number 4, and if you've been reading any of the stuff, tying it in to the Wolverine issue number 36, when we first got the introduction to this character, you know as well as I do that this character is going not through only through hell, but going through a hell in which that he's been trying to solve overall a major problem that's been part of the dilemma of why so many individuals have been going to hell, and this other individual that's been trying to get back. There's a lot of hellish stuff that's coming out this year, and it's all going to really be hitting the hell and high water when it get into around June, because that Spirits of Violence was canceled. It's got to be rewritten because of how much was redone. I haven't got to talk to Xavier about this yet, but from my understanding, they don't even have a real time of release, which leads me to believe it's not going to be happening until more likely after July. That's when I'm looking for all this hell stuff to come back out heavier than ever. So Helverine issue number 4 is only going to be 1 or 2 books, and I'm just going to have to tie this over until then, which is the other one is going to be Hell Hunters issue number 4. Now, this is another hell version of book story, not quite tied into the whole stuff, but what we're getting is damn good stories. See what I'm doing? All this hell damn stuff. So I really been enjoying not only both titles, but Hell Hunters is also giving us a character, a Ghost Rider, that we haven't really seen before, and is making a pretty, well, he's putting his mark, hell mark, pretty well in the Marvel Universe as in this storyline, and I really been enjoying it so far. I've only got to read the first 2. I got issue number 3 and now 4 coming out to me. I got a bunch of books behind me that you can't see. Oh, yeah, you can't see. That I got to go through and not only read, but log in. So this issue number 4 is only part of half of what I need to read for the storyline, and I'm dying to get into them. I really enjoy the first 2, so I can't wait to get issue number 3 and 4. Let's move out from the Hell Hunters issue number 4, coming out on 3/11/2025, and let's talk about Amazing Spider-Man issue number 69. You thought the 8 deaths were going to end at issue number 68, huh? What we're going to do is it almost seems like this whole fight is unwinnable. We've gotten through all the deaths that Spidey can go through without actually mortally finalizing his true and last death. But what we're getting is help, and the help doesn't seem like it's helping much. This is the integration to the whole Doom stuff that we're going to get in both issues 69 and 70, where Amazing Spider-Man ends and restarts with issue number 1, which is also considered not a major reboot, but a continuation, even though it starts at issue number 1. But the idea behind this is its ending is the starting of its side and its tie-in to the Doom events that are happening. Well, as you well know, we issued number 2 into the Doom event, which is of a 10-issue mini. So what we have right here is the 1 in 25, issue number 69, which is definitely one I had to get. I like the homage, which the other one was homage too, but Secret Wars 8, which is another one that I thought was kind of cool. I did get the Marvel Rivals. I've been getting these things for Kai because he's playing the game. And the other cover A, I end up just having to get in mail. Now, it's a really anticipated book for me, and it almost made my Blue Light special. Just missed it out because I know where this is leading, and I'm really kind of curious of what is going on now that he's on his last death. I'm really, really curious. I do know he makes it. He's got to make it. But what we're going to see is both Strange and Doom assisting and having difficulties of their own. Where that leads us, I don't quite know, but I'm dying to find out, and that's why it just missed my Blue Light special, but it was beat out by this. The one that I'm dying to get into is, well, no, it's not a Spider-Boy because it's not out. It's Venom. Truly, all new Venom issue number 4 is the one I'm really, really looking for. This is not only a cover that I really, really wanted. Hey, how you doing, Kev? Hope all is well with you. However, it's also one in which that we're getting close to the identity. I've really been enjoying the series so far. Not only that, but I've been enjoying how it's been ramping up. There, basically, everything that's going on, we're really getting a couple of pissed off individuals. Speaking of such, Dylan is not quite happy at all. But what we're also getting is a feeling of, again, more tension, more stress, more something's about to snap, and we just don't know quite what. I know issue 4 is only leading to what we're going to get to when we get to issue number 5, but wow, I'm really starting to feel this tension going on, and it's awesome. I can't wait to get into issue number 4 of all new Venom, and I hope that you two are looking forward to all the books that you're getting tomorrow. If there's anything I miss or anything you think that I should be reading, or in what that you might be looking for tomorrow that I definitely have omitted from my list here, drop it in the comments. I appreciate you, and that's pretty much it for me. Entropy, I want to quickly say thank you to Kev, Christina, Jag, Jigs, appreciate you, buddy, Callie, and anyone else I may have cruising on the rewind. I greatly appreciate you too, and that's it for me. Entropy, have a good night, and you stay well.